For tenants that once their rent expires, either they will travel or they will disappear to where we don't want to know, or some they will even go as far as locking the door and we will not trust them again. Now, here are circumstances that can lead to the house that you occupy as a tenant being declared abandoned under the tenancy law. One, where your rent has expired. Such house can be declared abandoned. Two, where the tenant is nowhere to be found once the tenancy has expired and the tenant has not given up lawful possession. Such premises can be declared abandoned under the tenancy law. So, as a tenant, once your rent expires, you cannot update the rent. You cannot also approach your landlord, your caretaker, or whoever is in charge of the house that you're living in peacefully or amicably to settle things. You feel the best you should do is to flee. Okay, sir, flee. Now, listen to what may likely happen to you. Your landlord shall apply to court for possession and an order to force open the premises. So don't be too surprised if you come back from wherever you went to and you found your door being open. This is going to happen if your landlord has applied to court that you want to open the house, that the house has been abandoned, and is able to prove that your tenancy has expired. You are also nowhere to be found. The court can give your landlord an order to open the premises after he issued a 7 days owner's intention to recover possession by pasting it in an outstanding place in the premises. So there is no need for you to come back and agitate, oh, you came, your door has been open and all that. So once your tenancy expires and you are not around to update, you are still nowhere to be found after the expiration date. Please remember, your landlord can go to court and apply to forcefully open the door. Your household items will be gathered to where you will go and lay claims. Yes, if you go there, they will definitely give it to you. So why stress yourself? And your landlord shall take possession. So please, once your rent is about to expire, it's either you find a way and fix things. We know times are hard, or approach whoever owns the house amicably and sort things out. Do not be a letter L for lesson. So tenants, let me tell you ways your landlord can serve you appropriate notice to quit. If it's not coming in any of these ways I am going to mention, you should know what to do. Most importantly, it shall be by personal service in the following ways. One, service on the tenant in person. So if you're at home, as at the time the notice comes, you can receive it. Yes. Quit notice is a very soft and interesting letter now that will come to you. It's not a time bomb. Why are people always afraid of quit notice? Two, delivery to any adult in the premises to be recovered. Example, it can be delivered to your spouse, your adult child, or a co-tenant. Any adult that is within the premises can receive it on your behalf. Three, it can be by courier. That is where the tenants cannot be found. There are some tenants that you can see them once in a week, twice a week or so. So if such tenant is not the type of person that stays one place and you know when you go there you cannot see, you can courier it. Maybe if the landlord is staying too far from the tenants and he does not have time to serve the tenants on his own, he can courier the letter to the tenants. Four, affixing the notice in a prominent place in the premises sought to be recovered. So either by your doorposts, at the entrance of the gate, anyway, so long as the place is prominent that such tenants can see, a notice can be affixed there for the tenants. Five, this is a technology age. Let us be truthful. A notice can be sent via email to a tenant. It can be sent on WhatsApp as a document. So, as a tenant, in order to avoid, I was not served, I did not see any notice, please pay attention. All these things that I've mentioned and more are ways in which you can receive your love letter from your landlord, which is your quit notice. So why are you always afraid of it? Don't be scared of quit notice now. It's a love letter. You and your landlord, both of you have to liaise once in a long time, okay? So please pay attention to the way your notice can be served so that when it gets to you, you will not be so surprised. Here are grounds in which your landlord can recover his house. Part 1. Unless what is in the agreement between you and your landlord states otherwise. Once any of these things I'm going to mention can be proved by your landlord, the court shall have the power to order your landlord to take possession. Number one, arrears of rent. Once your landlord can prove that you are owing him or her rent, that is a ground. Two, once there is any breach of covenants or agreements, let's say there is an agreement between you and your landlord, but along the line you do something that is contrary to that agreement you have with your landlord, it can be a ground for possession of premises. Three, where the premises is required by the landlord for personal use. For instance, your landlord may say, I am not going to rent the apartment again. I want to move in there. My brother wants to move in, or my family. It is his personal property and he has the right to make use of it at any time. So it can be a ground for your landlord to say, I am not renting it again. So as a result of that, you can recover possession of the premises. Four, where the premises requires substantial repair, please you have to vacate. There is no two ways about it, because if the premises is not habitable, how are you going to be comfortable living there? So if there is any repair that is substantial that is to be carried on in the premises, you have to vacate. So with this, your landlord can use it as a ground to recover premises by taking an action, either by going to court or giving you a notice to quit. But I know once notice to quit comes, people will start dragging up and down. With this, going to court is going to be the easiest way. So please pay attention to all these grounds that I have mentioned and more. Once the landlord says, I'm not doing again, it is over. No matter the agreement both of you entered. Grounds for possession of premises by landlord, part 2. Again, no matter what was stated in the agreement between you as a tenant and your landlord, once any of these things I'm going to mention can be proved, your landlord can make an order to court to recover the premises. So let's go. One, where the premises is used for immoral or illegal purposes. You rented an apartment to live, but you choose to turn it to a brothel, you choose to turn it to where people used to gather and plan what they are not. Anything that you know that it is illegal and you are doing it, and the main purpose of renting that premises is not what you are doing. Once your landlord is able to prove that, he can use that as a ground to recover his premises. Two, if the premises has been abandoned, I talked about abandoning a house earlier. So if you abandon the house you rent and you are nowhere to be found, it can also be used as a ground to recover premises. Three, if the premises is unsafe or unsound, then as a result of that, it can constitute danger to human life. Yes, it is a very solid ground. What if the foundation is shaking, the wall is cracking, you want to go upstairs and it's as if you and the house want to fall together? Those are instances that you can say that the premises is unsafe. So if such thing happens, just know that your landlord can tell you to vacate so that it can fix the structural defects and set the house to a standard that can be habitable. Four, where a tenant or anybody living in the premises constitutes a conduct of nuisance or a disturbing tenant, always nagging, always exchanging blows and anything that a tenant is doing that is bringing either nuisance or discomfort to any other person in that premises, it can be used as a ground to recover possession. So please, if you know you are a dramatic person, get ready, because that house that you think you are occupying, don't forget yourself. One day, the dice may not fall in your court. So if it falls in your court this time, you better call yourself to order and stop being dramatic, because you cannot live wherever you wait to come and discomfort people and you feel you will continue staying with sane people. No, it will not happen. These are also grounds that can be used by your landlord if he wants to recover his premises from you. So please, either you say yes to this or you say no to it, but pick your struggle well. Where a landlord increases rent and the tenant feels that the increase in rent is unreasonable, the tenant have every right to apply to courts. And with that, the court will give the landlord hearing notice. Of course, the landlord have to come and explain himself. After that, the court will consider the following condition to ascertain whether the increase in the rent is reasonable. The first thing the court will look at is the general rent level in that locality and similar locality. That's what the court will consider first. How is the environment? What does it look like? What is the average range of rents that somebody can pay in this kind of environment? Another thing the court will look at is the evidence of the witnesses. Of course, you're the one that carried the matter to court now. Definitely, you must lead evidence. You must bring witnesses to testify. Another thing the court is going to look at will be the circumstances that surrounds the premises. Was this house a bungalow? With the blink of an eye, it turns to a story building. What is any special thing that has been added to the house? Was the room a PVC and suddenly the landlord maybe changed it or intend changing it to a POP? So those are things, special circumstances. Was it the wall that cracked? It has been fixed. All those things are going to be put into consideration. The court will duly consider, is it reasonable for the rent to be increased or no? If it is unreasonable, the court will fix an amount that's going to favor the owner as well as the tenant. If you feel that there is an increase in rent, it's not supposed to be so, you can approach the court. There is no big deal in between. Where a person is a trespasser or an unknown occupier in your house or in your land, for instance, owners of uncompleted building, before you get there, somebody is already occupying the place on your behalf. There is nothing you can do about it. Or for people that have lands, you can leave the land for a longer period of time and you want to go and develop it or do something. Before you know, another person has already cultivated on the land. If you are in that kind of a situation, you cannot just walk into that uncompleted building and throw the person's properties outside. No, it's not acceptable. And you cannot enter the land and destroy the crops. It's not acceptable. So here are things you can do. If you are the owner of such property and somebody is just walking in, taking possession without your consent. If it is a land, you can place the court order in a visible place also in the land. You can stake it, you can bring a board and place it there so that anytime the person comes in, you can add your extra notes that you want to use the land aside the court order. This is another thing you want to do so that the person will have a time range to either get his or her crops when they are ripe off the premises. So those are things you can likely do. Then for people in a residential area, if at all there is maybe a gate or a letter box or anyhow you structured your house, you can fix the letter in an envelope, place it there for the person. So there is no need for you to agitate and there is no need for you to walk in there and forcefully evict the person. No, it's not acceptable. So please just follow the due process. It does not take time. So long as you did not give the person consent before the person enter your property or your land.